welcome to the next episode of Lessons from Life, and today I want to talk about slowing down time. Because I think that a lot of us feel like the time is constantly speeding up and we don't have time for anything and we can't enjoy our lives and we can't do anything about it. There is something called the 2020 effect, and it's when we feel like 2020 just happened. So when we hear statements like 2017 is gonna be 8 years ago soon, we have to do like a double take and we almost have like an existential crisis, which is understandable because where did the time go? So the perception of time speeding up, where does it come from? The theory is that when we get older, we have less new experiences, and in comparison to being a kid, life is kind of boring. When we're younger, everything is so exciting, we do so many things for the first time, and we have so many new situations and places to navigate. We meet new people constantly. And as we get older and we get kind of into a routine, it's not like that anymore. Life gets kind of boring. So naturally, we feel like the days are kind of blending together. And also we have to kind of figure out ways to get used to the new situations and kind of figure out solutions, because things that are really simple and easy for adults are really difficult for us because we never did something before. And some of us kind of got used to it, but wouldn't it be nice to like slow down and just enjoy your life? So ask yourself a question. When was the last time you were in a moment that felt so perfect and you were so fully immersed in it that you wanted to freeze that frame and be in that moment forever? Maybe spending time with your friends or family, or looking at your dream destination before you. So think about what actually made you appreciate this moment. Why was it so special? Was it the uniqueness of it, or the people you experienced it with? Like whatever it is, I can pretty much guarantee that you were 100% present and you didn't have many distractions. You weren't looking at your phone, and your thoughts were also in this present moment. You weren't thinking about what you're gonna do tomorrow or make for dinner. You actually got to experience everything with all of your senses and fully immerse yourself in the moment. Because if you were distracted, that moment wouldn't be so special and it wouldn't be so etched in your memory. Did you notice that time really slows down in situations like this? It could have lasted for maybe 5 minutes, maybe it was like a beautiful sunset. When you think back and see it in your mind, then it feels much longer. It feels like it was an hour, even though it was just a really short, tiny moment. So how can you actually use this in your daily life? So being present is something that a lot of people struggle with because everything is so fast-paced and we have to kind of navigate all of those distractions, our careers, studies, anything like that. And a lot of us feel like we don't even have time for our hobbies. But having those like mindful moments is really worth it. And it may be really uncomfortable at first and like foreign, and you don't know how to actually do it. But limiting those distractions is the key to unlocking mindfulness. So look at the people around you. Let's say on a bus. How many of those people do you think are fully present in this moment? How many of them are aware of what's going on around them and that are appreciating the moment? Probably not that many of them. Are you? Would you notice, for example, if the monitor inside the bus had a different color scheme, or a person that always gets off on one stop at the same time, if they didn't or didn't show up at all? That may feel a little silly and like it's occupying way too much of your thoughts, but actually when you're present, you have much more space for things that are important. You aren't constantly thinking 5 days ahead and planning your whole week in your head, and you can actually experience things as they are. So how scary would it be if you look back at your life decades from now and you don't even remember much because you were always in such a rush? That would not be a good experience, right? So take this into account when you kind of go about your day. When you notice yourself kind of speeding up with your thoughts and distracting yourself from things that are right in front of you, try to use all of your senses to experience the moment. This is a technique that people do with panic attacks because it's really grounding, but you can actually do it just in any random moment. So name 5 things you can see, then things you can touch, smell, or feel to experience the moment and reality around you. Another thing we tend to do a lot is multitasking. And this doesn't really allow us to do the thing we're supposed to do. We're constantly switching in between tasks because the human brain is actually unable to multitask. We just really quickly switch between two or more things. So that way we're not really doing anything fully. We're just trying to figure it out as we go, but that's not really healthy for us and that's not giving us the best effects. Also, connecting with nature is a really big one because a lot of us spend most of our days inside. Actually, around 80% of our lives is spent inside, which is really scary to think about because there is all this wide world for us to experience and we're just sitting inside. That's sad. So, making some effort to do a daily walk or when we travel to go to more nature outdoor destinations and not just sit in a hotel all day, that's really good for us. And we're supposed to do it because people think that they are separate from nature, but we're all connected and we're supposed to be surrounded by nature. Also, in moments like those, if you feel like your thoughts are somewhere else, reflect on them. Maybe write them down. Maybe take out your phone and your notes app and just write it down. Is it something you have to do later? Is it something you have to worry about now? Like, if not, or if it's something you're gonna have to deal with in the future, just write it down because it's not going anywhere and later you can come back to it and it's gonna be there written down for you. Also, reflect on your experiences because we really quickly move on to the next thing, but when we reflect on something, we bring all those emotions and thoughts back and we can actually remember them instead of just leaving them in the past. Because what's the point of experiencing so many beautiful things if you'll just forget them the next day? I talked about this in a couple of episodes, but journaling is really good for this because you can write it down and keeping track of every cool thing you experienced or just anything that happened to you. Helps you kind of see the positives in things and notice even smaller things because reflection is a tool that lets us organize all those things in our mind and we can always come back to it and look back and have all those amazing things we experienced. It kind of gives us the inspiration to move forward because who knows how many cool experiences are right before us. Also, practicing gratitude. You can combine this with journaling and just write down things you're grateful for, or just have a daily practice where you reflect on your day and you think about everything that you're grateful for. And I do this every single day and I feel like I'm so blessed and I notice and appreciate every single little thing because that makes life so much more beautiful. Also, when you have like a really big decision to make and you're in that clear headspace and your thoughts are organized, you are much more likely to make a good decision that's aligned with you instead of just overthinking and making decisions that are not good for you in the long run. You may not even notice that you're making the wrong decision. I mean, you obviously won't notice that because you're trying to make the best decision for yourself. But in this state where your thoughts are rushing and you have so many different influences, it can be really hard to choose yourself. And when you have much more clarity, it's gonna come to you naturally. So why is it worth it to slow down? First of all, your life will feel longer and you will have so many more things to look back and appreciate. Also, it's gonna be a really good influence on our relationships because people around us are also living in this fast-paced world. So sometimes it may be really hard to be mindful around each other and make those memories, but reminding ourselves and our loved ones and people we're around that it's okay and maybe inspire them to do the same thing by giving them an example. We can have many more of those beautiful moments that are really worth remembering. And that's more of an episode where I'm just reflecting on my thoughts and kind of seeing what I think about the topic along the way. So I really hope that you appreciated it and you have something to think about. And that's it for today, and see you in the next one. Bye!